IAS 16. IAS 16, we first discuss what is an asset. Asset is a present economic resource controlled by an entity as a result of past. I hope there is no doubt in the definition of asset. Then we started what are the types of asset. Under asset we had non-current asset and current asset. Yes or no? Non-current asset means future economic benefits are for more than 12 months. Current economic benefits means future economic benefits are less than 12 months. Then we discuss what does tangible and intangible means. Tangible means what? Which you can touch or see. Intangible we can't touch or see. So intangible asset, which is the standard we'll be covering? IAS 38. When coming to tangibles, we'll be covering IAS 16 and IAS 40. Then we started with the discussion of what is PP. Under PP, I mentioned that what are the three important terms. Tangible hona chahiye. It should be used for more than 12 months. And it should be either for what purpose? Either it should be used in production process or for supplying any services, or it should be used for administrative purpose, or it should be rental to others other than land and building. It is or here. It is not and here. Clear to everyone? It is or, it is not and here. Any one condition should be satisfied. Then we started with the discussion of land and building. In land and building, we have discussed if it is for what purpose. If it is for business purpose, then normally business purpose IAS 16. For investment purpose IAS 40. So administrative purpose. Then IAS 40 is rental to others and capital appreciation. Again, we will cover this in which standard? IAS 40. What are the examples which I had given here? If I say land and building is held for use, IAS 16 hoga. Land and building, I am keeping this for my ordinary sale purpose. Then where it will go? IAS 2 inventory हो जाएगा ये. सबको clear है ये? Then land and building held for sale, IFRS 5. Now coming to land and building. Business is of giving land and building on rent. अगर business है IAS 16. If it's not your business, then IAS 40. Then we discuss that any other asset other than land and building, where will you give this? It will go to IAS 16 PP. If I say I have a machinery, if I say I have any machinery, I am giving this on rent, IAS 16. Then other part, office building, factory building. Then if a company is purchasing any building for the staff accommodation, sub IAS 16 में जाएगा. Any doubts in the definition? I hope no. Recognition में हमने क्या पढ़ा था? When will you recognize an asset? Future economic benefits are there and cost can be measured reliably. If the conditions are not satisfied, then what will you do? Expense this to P&L. If it is satisfied, record it as an asset. Under which category? Operating category. Operating category. Measurement principle. Measurement में there are two types of measurement. Initial measurement, subsequent measurement. Initially at what value will record? हम initially किस value पर record करेंगे? At cost. Now, initially the following item is recorded at cost. Now, sir, what is the definition of cost? Cost का meaning क्या है? Cost includes directly attributable cost necessary to bring PP to location and condition. Who is saying this? The management is saying that. If the management saying I need the machine at the top floor or at that corner, till that corner, the cost will be included. Then we started with the discussion of what are the costs that are included. First one, purchase price. Then non-refundable taxes. It should be non-refundable. Refundable you will not include. Finance cost if IAS 23 conditions are satisfied. Borrowing cost. Legal fees. Then initial delivery cost or transportation cost. Installation and assembling cost. Stamp duty cost. Site preparation cost. Professional fees. Architect fees. If you are constructing an asset, what all will be included? Can I say employment cost will also be included? Today I want to construct a factory. I am hiring laborers. That also will be included. Then direct material, labor and overhead. Testing cost. This is very important. Testing cost. Testing cost. अगर कुछ test कर रहे हो, कुछ ना कुछ output बनेगा. Will that output be included here? Output include होगा क्या इधर? Output will not be included. वो revenue में जाएगा. It will be recorded. See, I have written a note below. Sale proceed during testing process are not reduced from the testing cost but are recorded as a revenue in the P&L. Are recorded as revenue in the P&L. Then we discuss the other one. आई होप दिस इज ऑल्सो क्लियर टू यू. प्रेजेंट वैल्यू हम टेबल बनाते थे. ओपनिंग बैलेंस, interest, payment, closing balance. How do you calculate this? Present value you will take of which one? The cash flow. If you have to pay 20,000 at the end of 10th year, 20, that 10,000 or 20,000 discount it and bring the value today. Then I mention any direct attributable cost, insurance and transit. Will you include trade discount? Yes, sir. We will include trade discount. What about cash discount? Cash discount include hoga kya? No, cash discount you will not record it. Then costs which are excluded: staff training cost, administrative overheads, advertisement cost, cost of opening a new facility or day-to-day expenses, allocated overheads, initial operating loss will also not be included, cost of relocating or reorganizing the part of the entity will not be included. Abnormal loss include होगा क्या? नहीं होगा. Purchase of maintenance contract होगा क्या? नहीं होगा. I hope the cost part is clear to each and everyone. Cash discount is not included, trade discount included. And then I mention any income or expenditure which you have. Example क्या लिया था हमने इधर? When you construct any factory, कुछ ना कुछ space available होगा. Space will be available. That space you are giving on rent. The income will not be included here. वो other income में जाएगा normally. Now subsequent expenditure, we have discussed the two categories here: capital expenditure, revenue expenditure. For capital expenditure, you will capitalize it. For capital expenditure, you will capitalize. Revenue expenditure किधर जाएगा ये? Charge to P&L. Now, how will you identify in the exam? I hope that everyone knows capital expenditure means which increases the economic benefit. What are the other things I've written? Extends the asset useful life, expansion or decreasing the productivity of asset, decreasing in the operating cost. ये तीनों दिया होगा तो एग्जाम में you will assume this is an subsequent expenditure. Then coming to the next, this was the first question we had done. Then we did one more question regarding this subsequent expenditure. Then we started our discussion regarding cost of dismantling. In this, what we had discussed? What is the journal entry? Debit asset, credit provision. जो भी value होगा after 10 years, you will discount and include in the cost of the asset and you will record provision. After recording this, what will you do? After recording this, you will increase the value by charging what? Finance cost. This finance cost किधर record होगा ये finance cost? Finance cost will be recorded in financing category. Do understand that it will be recorded in financing category. So this was the example we had done, discounting etc. 10,000 का. Then journal entry. I hope सबको clear है journal entry. Journal entry is frequently tested in MCQ. Then we had done this question of oil rig. Oil rig का question किया था. See here. We had calculated the discounting factor and got the value as 1492. Then exchange of asset. Coming to the new topic, what we had discussed here. What is the example I had taken? Porsche and Lamborghini. Yes or no? Porsche and Lamborghini. So what is the first thing we have to do? First thing you have to see कि exchange of asset is there. Yes sir. Exchange of asset है. Commercial substance is there or not? You have to check first. Yes or no? पहले चेक करना पड़ेगा कि commercial substance है कि नहीं. अगर commercial substance है तो you will follow 3 priorities order. If non-commercial substance, if no commercial substance is there, then whatever asset you have received, you will record at what value? You will record the asset at the carrying amount. If I am giving today one asset, I am getting one asset new. The asset which I am getting new, at what value I will record? The carrying amount of the asset given. Carrying amount of the asset given. If cash is paid, you will add. If cash is received, you will reduce. I mentioned या उल्टा फॉलो करना है. कैश जब भी पे कर दो, यू थिंक सर माइनस हो रहा है, उसको रिवर्स कर दो और ऐड कर दो. नेक्स्ट वन, एक्सचेंज ट्रांजैक्शन हैज कमर्शियल सब्सटेंस. अगर कमर्शियल सब्सटेंस होगा तो क्या होगा? What will happen? Can I say we have to follow the order? Option 1 किसको प्रायोरिटी देंगे हम? Fair value of the asset given, GRG. Fair value of the asset given, fair value of the asset received, fair value of the asset, no, carrying amount of the asset given. सबको क्लियर है ये तीनों पार्ट? कैश पेड ऐड करोगे, कैश रिसीव लेस करोगे. अगेन आई एम डूइंग रिवीजन बिफोर आई स्टार्ट दी एमसीक्यू. सो ये जर्नल एंट्री भी क्लियर होगा आई होप टू एवरीवन. जो भी एसेट अक्वायर करोगे आप, यू विल शो दिस एट दी अबव, जो भी हमने पढ़ा अभी जस्ट वॉट एवर वी हैव डन. जो भी एसेट बाहर जा रहा है उसको you will be taking it out at carrying amount whatever is that removed. Then cash paid, cash received, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Either one only will happen. दोनों नहीं होगा, एक ही चीज होगा. और जो बैलेंसिंग फिगर है ना, लॉस ऑन एक्सचेंज ऑफ असेट और प्रॉफिट ऑन एक्सचेंज ऑफ असेट, वो भी एक ही होगा, दोनों नहीं होगा. क्लियर है सबको? ओके, we had done 1 question, 2 question and 3 questions we had done from this topic, the exchange of asset. Now coming to depreciation. डेप्रीसिएशन क्या है? डेप्रीसिएशन इज द वेयर एंड टेयर ऑफ द एसेट. एसेट की वैल्यू कम हो रही है. सो व्हाट आर द थ्री मेथड्स ऑफ डेप्रीसिएशन? सर एसएलएम, डब्ल्यूडीवी और यूनिट्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन मेथड और आर्ली बेसिस. सो व्हाट इज द मैक्सिमम डेप्रीसिएशन यू कैन चार्ज? मैक्सिमम डेप्रीसिएशन कितना चार्ज होगा? डेप्रीशिएबल अमाउंट. यस और नो? डेप्रीशिएबल अमाउंट. सो व्हाट इज डेप्रीशिएबल अमाउंट? cost minus residual value. Cost minus residual value. So depreciation कब start होगा? Depreciation will start when the asset is available for use. Ready for use नहीं है इधर, available for use है. Then next one, depreciation on CC when it depreciation on PP when it will cease. When will you stop depreciation? Either you have sold or it is classified as held for sale. So formula क्या था SLM का? Cost minus residual value. Cost minus residual value divided by useful life. Either what is the important point you have to remember? You have to see what? Whether in question total useful life is given or remaining useful life is given. When will you see this? When there is a change, estimate में change होगा. We'll come to that topic. Reducing balance method में opening amount into depreciation rate. Whatever is the opening carrying amount into depreciation rate. Hourly basis में क्या करोगे आप? Whatever is the output or the number of hours used, उस पर चार्ज करोगे. Everyone clear? मनन, श्रेया, विलक्षणा, अफजल, उन्नति,
Yes, sir.
yes. ओके, अगर आप रिवीजन नहीं करके आओ तो मैं रिवीजन कर रहा हूं. सो कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन दैट. लैंड, विल यू डेप्रिशिएट लैंड बेटे? हम लैंड को डेप्रिशिएट करेंगे? नो, कभी भी लैंड को डेप्रिशिएट नहीं करते. क्यों? यूजफुल लाइफ इज नॉट डिटरमाइंड. बिल्डिंग को हाँ सर डेप्रिशिएट करेंगे हम. देन वी आर डिस्कस द वन इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक, और मैंने बोला था कि क्वेश्चन आता है इससे. क्या क्वेश्चन था ये? व्हाट इज दिस टॉपिक? जो भी आप एस्टिमेट यूजफुल लाइफ, वॉट एवर यू थिंक द एस्टिमेट लाइफ, द एस्टिमेट residual value, useful life, all are what? Estimate है सारा. If this estimate is changing, what should you do? Prospective treatment. Prospective means what? आज से consider करना है change. From today you have to consider the change. अगर मैं बोलूं useful life of the asset is 10 years today, useful life of the asset is 10 years today. If useful life of the asset is 10 years, 2 years are already done. So what is the remaining useful life? 8 years है remaining useful life. अगर 8 years है, इधर आके estimate change हो गया. If the estimate is changing here, can I say either the question will give two things to you: total revised useful life, total revised useful life. If not, remaining useful life, total revised useful life, or the useful life that is totally. If I say the question is saying total कितना है? 12 है. Now the depreciation will be based on what? 12 minus 2 on further depreciation will be based on 10. Out of 12 years you have used 2 years. ये ध्यान रखना, ये silly mistake, avoid this. You will lose 2 marks easy. I've seen students doing this silly mistake for easy depreciation question. अगर क्वेश्चन ने बोला है कि रिमेनिंग यूजफुल लाइफ है 5 years, then you will depreciate over 5 years. अगर क्वेश्चन ने बोला है टोटल यूजफुल लाइफ, reduce the useful life which you have used and remaining पर चार्ज होगा. सबको क्लियर है ये पॉइंट? Then I mentioned whenever there is revised thing, what will you use the formula? Instead of carrying amount, जो हम cost लेते हैं ना, when we use the calculation, when we use what? When we use SLM basis, sir, हम cost लेते हैं. Instead of cost, what you will take? Carrying amount of the asset on the date of change minus revised useful life divided by revised useful life and residual value. दोनों को revise consider करना है. Mostly exam में एक ही देगा. The examiner will give you only one. If both are given, consider both and do the treatment. Depreciation की entry क्या है? Debit depreciation, credit accumulated depreciation. This accumulated depreciation is a contra account. Already I mentioned. Contra account क्यों है? To reduce the value of the asset. This is what a basket. Basket में पूरा depreciation collect होगा. Then हमने एक क्वेश्चन किया था, बेसिक क्वेश्चन फॉर डेप्रिसिएशन, तीनों मेथड के 2 or 3 questions. Yes. Now coming to small topics which were very important. Repair and maintenance किधर जाएगा? Sir, repair and maintenance P&L में जाएगा. P&L में किधर जाएगा ये? Under operating category. Under operating category. Now coming to important topic of this one, where we are discussing example. देखो ये, this was the example we had taken aircraft का. Yes or no? हमने aircraft में क्या डिस्कस किया था? Aircraft has an engine and also has what? The aircraft. Yes or no? We had discussed this. This engine has how many useful life? Sir, engine का useful life 4 years था. अगर engine का useful life 4 years है तो कैसे depreciate करोगे? 4 years पर. अगर aircraft की life 10 years है तो 10 years पर. So that means what? अगर एक asset है, if you have an asset, under the asset you can have two significant component. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Two significant component. So you will depreciate it based on it. 4 years, 10 years. सबको क्लियर है ये भी? हमने क्वेश्चन किया. बट व्हेन यू रिकॉर्ड द डेप्रिसिएशन, टोटल डेप्रिसिएशन हम रिकॉर्ड करेंगे. और जब हम पीएनएल में एयरक्राफ्ट की वैल्यू बताएंगे ना, वी विल शो द टोटल वैल्यू. यस और नो? टोटल वैल्यू अलग अलग नहीं बताना है. सर इंजन अलग है तो एयरक्राफ्ट अलग है, पीपी में भी अलग रिकॉर्ड करेंगे? नहीं, एयरक्राफ्ट तो एक ही है ना. एयरक्राफ्ट इज वन, सो शो इट टुगेदर. सो कंपोनेंट अकाउंटिंग में क्या पढ़े थे? सिग्निफिकेंट पार्ट ऑफ पीपी शुड बी डेप्रिशिएटेड सेपरेटली. इफ कंपोनेंट इज नॉट सिग्निफिकेंट, अगर कंपोनेंट सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं है, छोटा ही कंपोनेंट है बट यूजफुल लाइफ अलग है, इफ यूजफुल लाइफ इज टोटली डिफरेंट, डेप्रिशिएटेड. व्हाट इज द ट्रीटमेंट हियर? हमने फॉर्मूला क्या पढ़ा था इसमें? कैरिंग अमाउंट ऑफ द न्यू पीपी विल बी व्हाट? टुडे आई एम रिप्लेसिंग माय कंपोनेंट. मैं इंजन रिमूव कर रहा हूं. आई एम रिमूविंग द इंजन एंड एडिंग वन मोर न्यू इंजन इनसाइड. देन व्हाट विल डू? कैरिंग अमाउंट ऑफ द पीपी ऑन द डेट ऑफ रिप्लेसमेंट. आज एरोप्लेन की क्या वैल्यू है? व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ द एरोप्लेन माइनस कैरिंग अमाउंट ऑफ द ओल्ड पार्ट ऑन द डेट ऑफ रिप्लेसमेंट. जो आप इंजन रिप्लेस कर रहे हो ना, उसकी कैरिंग अमाउंट क्या है बुक्स में? व्हाट इज द कैरिंग अमाउंट इन द बुक्स प्लस व्हाट? कॉस्ट ऑफ न्यू पार्ट. क्लियर टू एवरीवन दिस आल्सो? सो एंट्री क्या था? जनरल एंट्री क्या था इसका? फर्स्ट यू विल क्रेडिट द एसेट. क्रेडिट द एसेट एट व्हाट वैल्यू? ग्रॉस अमाउंट. और जो भी अक्यूमुलेटेड डेप्रिसिएशन, पूरा जो अक्यूमुलेटेड डेप्रिसिएशन का अकाउंट रहेगा ना, पूरा उड़ा देंगे, इसको नील कर देंगे, जीरो. एंड वॉट एवर विल बी योर गेन और लॉस ऑन एक्सचेंज ऑफ द एसेट और रिमूवल ऑफ द एसेट. देन जब आप न्यू एसेट परचेज करोगे तो डेबिट कैश क्रेडिट एसेट. ये जनरल एंट्री क्लियर है सबको? ये क्वेश्चन था विच वी हैड डन. यस और नो? देन मेजर इंस्पेक्शन. मेजर इंस्पेक्शन मीन्स व्हाट? सर मेजर इंस्पेक्शन व्हाट डज दिस मीन्स? हमने डिस्कस किया था एग्जांपल, द रीसेंट इंसिडेंट दैट हैपेंड इन इंडिया, एरोप्लेन का. द गवर्नमेंट सेज दैट एवरी ईयर यू हैव टू इंस्पेक्ट द machine or the aircraft. So government will say after every 5 years you have to inspect. So agar after every 5 years you inspect, then what will happen? Can I say after every 5 years we inspect, cost kuch na kuch cost will be there. That cost you have to treat it separately for depreciation. Cost depreciate होगा separately. See here, मैंने लिया था 10,000 का एग्जांपल और this 20,000 relates to inspection. This inspection is done after every 4 years. So इसको अपन separately treat करेंगे. And what is the note we have discussed? The cost of inspection is already included, therefore depreciated. That cost separately applies component accounting. इसका मतलब क्या था, जो cost of inception है ना, whatever you incur, that is already included in what? It is already included in the cost of the asset when you purchase. Should you keep this in mind or examiner directly देगा? The examiner will give you directly what should be done. Then can I say ये भी same treatment था, major overall cost refers to what? Part replacement. If you are replacing any part, कौन सा फॉर्मूला यूज करेंगे हम? दिस फॉर्मूला, ये जो फॉर्मूला हमने पढ़ा है ना, ये यूज करेंगे हम. Then we have discussed if spare parts, standby equipment and service equipment are there, if it is meeting the condition of IAS 16, IAS 16 per as per IAS 16 we will record. If not, as per what value will record? As per IAS to inventory जैसे record करेंगे. Safety and environmental equipment, how we will deal with this? हम कैसे deal करेंगे इससे? We will record this as capitalize in the cost of the asset. You will capitalize. जैसे हमने क्या एग्जांपल लिया था, if you go in big offices, you have water sprinklers, fire extinguishers. These are not directly helping the business, but indirectly they are helping. So you'll include in the cost of the PP. Then हमने ये भी किया था, yes or no, this fourth topic. अगर today you don't know what is the value of the amount, or you don't know what is the cost of the asset which you are replacing, अगर 3 साल के बाद में कॉस्ट मालूम है तो उसको क्या करेंगे हम? डिस्काउंट करेंगे. We will discount. This question we had done. In this 4.5 million was what? At 1st Jan 2000 X4, 4.5 million was what? The cost which you will incur to replace the turbine here. और उसको क्या करेंगे? उसको डिस्काउंट करेंगे किससे? This 5%. And then do the normal treatment. This type of question is very rare in the coming in the exam, but the above part which we have done, carrying amount plus new minus old, वो आएगा. Subsequent measurement. So under subsequent measurement, what are the two models here? What are the two models? Cost model, revaluation. The company has the choice to select it. So under cost model, cost less accumulated depreciation, accumulated impairment. Have we covered accumulated impairment? हमने impairment कुछ cover किया? नहीं किया. From Monday we will be doing, from tomorrow's class, impairment you will be learning. Revaluation model में क्या होगा बेटे? Revaluation model में you have to consider fair value on the date of replacement. हमने एग्जांपल लिया था इधर, yes or no? जैसे ये 8000 क्या था? वैल्यू था. अगर मैं बोलूं 12000 हो गई वैल्यू, फेयर वैल्यू 12000 है, सो गेन कितना आया मेरा? सर 4000 गेन. ये किधर रिकॉर्ड होगा? सर ओसीआई रिकॉर्ड में होगा. देन फर्दर डेप्रिसिएशन किस पर चार्ज होगा? 12000 divided by 8, that is fair value on the date of replacement. Fair value on the date of replacement, less accumulated depreciation, less accumulated impairment loss, you will get your carrying amount. ये carrying amount किधर बताएंगे? PPE, non current asset. So sir, depreciation कब कब चार्ज करेंगे? When we will charge depreciation? Will you charge frequently or once or twice in 5 years? If the value is changing significantly, then go for annually. If it is not changing, then 3 to 5 years. This is important for the exam? No, not so important. Revaluation to be applied to entire class of asset. Is this important? Very important from theory point of view. Class of asset का meaning क्या है? Asset with similar nature and use. Asset with similar nature and use. Is this clear to everyone? So मैंने क्लास ऑफ असेट का एग्जांपल दिया. और ऑफिस बिल्डिंग और फैक्ट्री बिल्डिंग दोनों क्या है? बोथ आर टोटली डिफरेंट. बोथ आर टोटली डिफरेंट. रिवैल्यूएशन अप्रोचेस, कौन सा अप्रोच है? दिस अक्यूमुलेटेड डेप्रिसिएशन एलिमिनेशन अप्रोच. इज दिस समथिंग न्यू? नो, ये न्यू नहीं है. व्हाट वी वर डूइंग हियर, चलो ये let us see the example where we have done this. चलो, no issues. What will you do first? Elimination approach में क्या करेंगे हम? asset की वैल्यू 10,000 है, accumulated depreciation 2,000 है. First you have to calculate the net amount of the asset. Net amount कैसे करेंगे? जो 10,000 है minus 2,000 करेंगे, you will get 8,000. Sir, इस 8,000 का journal entry कैसे आया? This is the journal entry. Accumulated depreciation को उड़ा देंगे हम, we will remove it and credit asset. So you will get 8,000. Here I have written this net carrying amount आएगा. और उसके बाद में क्या होगा? असेट की वैल्यू इंक्रीज या डिक्रीज होगी बेस्ड ऑन रीवैल्यूएशन. यस, सो दिस नाउ कमिंग टू ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ रीवैल्यूएशन. फर्स्ट टाइम वेयर विल यू रिकॉर्ड गेन बेटे? पहली बार गेन आ रहा है ओसीए में रिकॉर्ड करेंगे, पहली बार लॉस आ रहा है पीएनएल में रिकॉर्ड करेंगे. विच कैटेगरी सर? विच कैटेगरी यू विल रिकॉर्ड अंडर? पीएनएल. अगर सब्सीक्वेंट का मीनिंग क्या है सर? 2 3 4 5 कभी भी नेक्स्ट टाइम, सेकेंड टाइम, it could be third time, fourth time. किधर? Should you directly charge in P&L OCA or should you look previously what is done here? Sir, पहले हम देखेंगे पहले क्या किया हुआ. If I say revaluation gain is second time you have revaluation gain, but पहले revaluation gain था, previous year revaluation gain, this year revaluation gain, दोनों OCA में जाएगा. This time you had revaluation gain, sir, पिछले साल revalue loss था. Now previous year you had loss, what will you do? You will take that loss you will offset that loss. How will you offset it? Sir, recognize gain in P&L. To the extent loss recognized in P&L, any excess gain will be recorded in OCI. Clear है सबको ये दोनों केस? Then revaluation loss. सर पहले revaluation loss है तो हम P&L में रिकॉर्ड करेंगे, सेकेंड टाइम revaluation loss है तो किधर रिकॉर्ड करोगे आप? If you have second time revaluation gain, where will you record? P&L. You will record this in P&L. Then अगर मैं बोलूं previous year gain था, this year loss, previous year gain, then this loss what will you do? Offset with the OCI balance पहले, whatever जो भी OCI balance है ना उसे करेंगे, और जो remaining excess loss है वो किधर जाएगा? सर P&L में ट्रांसफर कर देंगे. सबको क्लियर है ये? And whether you have revaluation gain or loss, can you use the revaluation gain or loss of some other asset? No, particular to this asset. I have a building, to that building only revaluation gain or loss will be adjusted. I hope सबको clear है ये concept. Then we had done the examples, a lot of questions we had done, और मैंने ये 3 cases भी करवाए थे इधर. ये रहती, these are the cases which we had done. Full 3 cases we had done in a way. और then coming to the ट्रांसफर केस, हमने एग्जांपल लिया था मनन एंड राहुल. सर पीएनएल मनन है और ओसीआई राहुल है. व्हाई वी हैव टेकन दिस एग्जांपल? टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट केस? ट्रांसफर ऑफ एक्सेस डेप्रिसिएशन. जो रिवैल्यूएशन सरप्लस है ना, व्हाट विल यू डू फॉर रिवैल्यूएशन सरप्लस? जब आप असेट रिवैल्यूएशन मॉडल में है, व्हेनेवर असेट इज अंडर रिवैल्यूएशन मॉडल, when will you remove that revaluation surplus? Sir, revaluation reserve is transferred to retained earnings when the asset is disposed of. That is the default method. ये कौन सा मेथड है? डिफॉल्ट मेथड है. अगर कुछ भी नहीं दिया क्वेश्चन में, you will do this. So debit what, credit what? Retained earnings increase करोगे, debit revaluation surplus, both are what? Of इक्विटी नेचर. सो इक्विटी में क्या होगा? डेबिट डिक्रीज, क्रेडिट इंक्रीज होगा, कभी भी ध्यान रख लेना. देन ऑप्शन टू हमने क्या सीखा था? वी हैड लर्न दैट मनन इज सेइंग दैट whenever gain is there it is going to OCI. PNL is saying because of excess gain we have excess depreciation. So what will the OCI do? OCI will transfer the revaluation surplus to retained earnings. Based on what amount? The excess depreciation. Based on what amount? Excess depreciation. When will you follow this? You will follow this if it is mentioned in the question. अगर क्वेश्चन में दिया है कि कंपनी is choosing the option to transfer, then you will do this. If not, you will not apply it. Then what is the last topic we have done from this? Derecognition. When will you derecognize an asset? सर हम डी रिकॉग्निशन कब करेंगे? व्हेन यू सेल द एसेट और देयर इज नो फ्यूचर इकोनॉमिक बेनिफिट। और जो भी जब भी आप डी रिकॉग्नाइज करोगे एसेट को, गेन और लॉस विल बी देयर, gain or loss will be there. Where will you record the gain or loss? In P&L. Which category?
Operating category.
Operating category. So how will you calculate the gain? Sir, net proceeds minus the carrying amount of the asset. Agar revaluation surplus, if something is there in revaluation surplus, you will still transfer it to retained earnings. Agar excess pada hai, after transferring for excess depreciation, still the amount is pending, you can transfer it. Clear है सबको? I hope the revision of IAS 16 is clear. Disclosure क्या क्या देंगे हम? Measurement basis, useful life, methods of depreciation, reconciliation statement. These are the 4 important things.